So today is a great, important, very big day. Today is the most important and powerful day we'll ever live. I'm going to talk about something that God's really talking to me about these days and really helping me understand the power of today. Today is a very powerful day, and when we start understanding the power of the present moment, the very day we're living in, you start taking it more seriously. So I want to talk about that today. So success tomorrow begins with valuing today. And it's kind of talking about similar to what we've been discussing with short-term goals, long-term goals, and short-term thinking versus long-term thinking. It kind of plays into that. So if we want to be successful tomorrow, we're going to have to value today. And there's two things I want to talk about, and there's a lot more that could be discussed with this, but I just want to go with these two things. To be successful tomorrow, we have to determine the goal. What are we going after? And then we need to connect today with tomorrow. So let's talk about determining the goal. We need to think forward. And I love this quote. It's just really, really powerful. Planning is bringing the future into the present so that you can do something about it now. Let that sink in. You can actually do something about the future today, right now. Planning is bringing the future into the present so that you can do something about it now. So think about it. If you're wanting to go, say, across country, Sarah and I took the motorcycle all the way to the West Coast. We kind of planned out our trip before we left so we could decide where we were going to go, where we were going to spend the night, how far we were going to drive each day. We planned that out basically before we left. So that way, as we were doing that, we could bring the future into that day and plan how that was going to look. But if we didn't know where we wanted to go and it wasn't important to us where we wanted to go, we wouldn't have had to do that. We could just drive and end up wherever the road takes us. So if you don't think forward, be okay with ending up wherever you go. In the future, you might end up somewhere that you didn't really necessarily want to be, but you didn't plan anything else, so there you are. So think forward. You got to think ahead. Think smart. I think this is probably one of the biggest things us humans fail at. We like to plan this thing in the future, this big goal, especially New Year's is coming up here soon. So it's like, I'm going to go to the gym. And I get my gym membership. But I don't think smart. And I go to the gym that first, probably, January 1st or 2nd, because I'm feeling guilty about all the food I ate. And I get there and I work out and I work hard, and then I get sore and I go back anyhow the next 2 or 3 days. And within a week or two, the gym membership's done. It's all over. Because we didn't make specific, smart, measurable, achievable, realistic, timely goals. We didn't do that. We didn't put these things in that are like steps to help us get to from where we are to where we want to be. So you make this big goal or this fun idea, but you don't actually figure out how you're going to get to that place. So you got to be smart with your goal. And then think commitment. My favorite person in the world has a statement: stop trying to do something, either do it or don't. So get serious about it. If you want to do something, be committed. And you can't do too many things. You can't go conquer the world all at one time. You got to do small things. So if you're going to do something, get in there and do it. Because a lot of people say, I'm trying to do this, or I want to do this, or I'm thinking about doing this, or I'm planning to do this. Are you going to do it? If you're going to do it, just get out there and do it. You just got to do it. It takes a little determination. So think about where you want to go. Think forward, think smart, put some steps in place, and then think commitment. And here, if you don't get anything else from today, I really want you to get this. This is changing my life. It's something that I say this a lot about things I talk about, but this is one of the things that is changing my life. Is thinking about today and how it affects tomorrow. There is a direct correlation with things I do today and the results I feel tomorrow. 100%, it's right there. So I said think forward. Now, when you've decided your goal, you got to actually start thinking backward. So if you have your goal out front, I say connect the dominoes. So let's say your goal is the domino at the farthest point, and you're the domino back here. How are you going to get to that place? The best way to do it is to think backwards. So let's say I have a goal of, in 2 years, I would love to travel the world for 3 months. So that's my goal. Now I got to start thinking backwards. What do I need to accomplish that goal? Well, I'm going to need some money. So let's just explore the money part of it. So if I want to travel in 2 years for 3 months, and I decide I need $10,000 for that 3-month period of travel, I need to start thinking, how am I going to actually have $10,000 in that 2-year period when it's time to start traveling? So you start thinking backwards. I need $5,000 a year saved. So that's my yearly goal. And then you got to break that down and say, okay, how much do I need in a month? Oh boy, let's see. That would be
about $200.
What's that?
About $200.
$200 a month? I think it's a little more than that. Yeah. 430. Because 4 times 12 is 48, so that's $4,800. So around $400 a month, I'm going to have to save. Then break that down into the week. How much do I need in a week? Well, I need about $100 a week that I need to be saving. So now my goal, see how I'm working backwards? The goal is coming down farther and farther. So if I need $100 a week, then how much do I need in a day? I need $20 if I work 5 days a week. I need to be saving $20 a day for the next 2 years, and I'll have $10,000 set aside to go traveling. That's thinking backward. Make sense? So whatever goal you have, it's great to have a goal out there, but you got to connect it to where you are now. You have to make it something you can do. So if you figure out, you know what, I cannot save $20 a day. I am living too tight. Okay, what can you do? I can do $10 a day. That means it's going to take me 4 years before I have $10,000 saved up to do that 3-month trip. Make sense? So that makes it a SMART goal because it's measurable, it's something specific, it's something you can do, it's realistic, and so it has a time frame to it. All that is a SMART goal. So connect the dominoes. And then think small. I love this quote. It's something I have on my computer. I think about it every single day with the way I do my day and what I put my time to. Gary Keller says, what's the one thing I can do today that by so doing makes everything else easier or unnecessary? The one thing. What can I do today? One thing. That one thing, if you're traveling, is saving $20 that day. That's the one thing you can do. Whatever goal you have, what is the thing you need to do today to make that happen? And if you live like that, you'll get to go traveling in 2 years with $10,000 saved up because you lived that out every single day. Then think real. This is what's changed in my life, so I put my name down there. There is no free pass for today because today changes tomorrow. This is what you got to get. If you can get this, for me, this is where it comes down to the rubber meeting the road for me. Because what I love to do is, let's say if my goal is to get up early every morning and have time alone. If I got to bed too late, or if I just don't feel like doing it that morning, I'll give myself a free pass. And you can do that because you just think, hey, you know what, I deserved it, I got to bed too late. Or let's say you're Sarah, who decided that she wants to go from the couch to the 5K. She wants to learn how to run. So she got this app that's called Couch to 5K, and she's sticking with it. She's running. And she's not giving herself free passes. Actually, on Saturday, she went for her run. We just had her friends join us, and she went out for her run on Saturday. She didn't give herself a free pass on Saturday, which she could have. But instead, she knows that if I give myself a free pass today, that affects tomorrow. That's going to make me miss my goal. Does that make sense? And when you start giving yourself free passes, there's no end to that. Because the free pass says today's not important. But when you start understanding that today is important, then you start really taking today seriously. So for me, if I have a bad habit that I'm trying to break, this is especially important. Don't give yourself a free pass on continuing in that bad habit. Or if you're trying to establish a habit, don't give yourself a pass. Keep going. Sarah and I, we were on a pretty long streak of walking every single day. And last year, we had family come in for Christmas. We had something happening over New Year's. And we went to South Korea to see Robert and Hannah right after New Year's. And we just stopped walking. We were on, do you know how many day streak we were on? A pretty good amount. I don't know. Couple month streak of walking every single day, 12,000 steps. So we stopped and we're like, as soon as we come back from South Korea, we'll pick it up. We gave ourselves a free pass. We never picked it up. And about 6 months later, I was starting to look like I was 50 with my nice beer belly. And we're like, we got to get back on this, because that free pass just took us all the way there. It was insane. I could not believe it. So then we hit that thing back up and we started walking every single day. And then we were in London, and Sarah's watch that counts her steps quit working. Guess what? We got free pass. And we haven't been walking every single day since then. So those free passes are super, super dangerous. Don't give yourself a free pass. Today is very important. And if you think about how that affects tomorrow, you start putting value on that. So I am learning this very much right now. This is like where I'm in the middle of my life, trying to understand how much today affects tomorrow. So there is no free pass for today, because today changes tomorrow. So whatever you do by saying I'm not going to do it affects tomorrow, because it makes it harder to do the same thing the next day. And when you just do it, you can just get out there and keep that rhythm going and make it a habit. So think backward, connect the dominoes, have your goal, but figure out how you're going to actually make it work. And think small, think something you can do every single day. That's the key. Something you can do every single day. Keep that goal in front of you and think real. There is no free pass. All right, so sum it up. A wise person lives today like it changes the future, because it does. A wise person lives today like it changes the future, because it does. So if you want to change the future, you want to go somewhere, you want to do something, live today like it will change the future, and it will. I love this little saying here. Be like a postage stamp, stick to one thing till you get there. If you do that, you can get these habits. And that's what successful people do. They just put a bunch of habits in place. And when you have a habit working for you, you're not thinking about it. It's not an option not to do that certain thing. It just happens. So when you have one habit down and it's just happening, then you can go on to the next thing. And you can start another habit. And then you can soon just kind of build the habits that you want in life. But if you do all of them at one shot, it's impossible. One habit at a time. Stick to one thing till you get there. All right. So let's be smart. Let's value today. And like I said, if there's anything that you get from this, just realize how important today is. Never discount the power of the moment that you're living in. Never discount it.